Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Mindful Podcast. My name is Nanebo, of course, with double H at the back. You can also call me Mr. Good News, and I will gladly respond. Now, today's episode of Mindful Podcast, as usual, is powered by Earth Dreams Entertainment and also Zaj Laundry Capsules. Yes, Zaj Laundry Capsules. It is used for laundry. In fact, when you get this, you don't need any extra detergents or soap for anything. Just toss some of this into your laundry and you're good to go. What I say. And also, today's episode is powered by Clean Sense Hub. If you need anything, diffusers and air refreshness, make sure you contact Clean Sense Hub and they've got you covered. And then also, Asama Home Touch, they are into anything kitchen and cookware. For anything that you need in your kitchen to make your kitchen a very nice and easy place to be at, make sure you contact them. And lastly, today's episode is also powered by Zadie's Cake. If you need anything pastries, make sure you contact Zadie's Cake. Now let's get straight into today's episode. Today's episode of Mindful Podcast is a special one, like I said earlier, because we have someone that I look up to over here. Yes, and I'm hoping by the end of this convo, you have certain information that we didn't know in order for us to tailor our lives and then tailor our youthful age into a very good one. So, and then the enemy and customer introduction, maybe boning now because me German and go be from. It's me boning me now, not in Yakana then. Aka home. Am I now in the studios of Earth Dreams Entertainment for this episode of Mindful Podcast? I have here with me Emmanuel Opoku Anani. I have here with me Mr. Emmanuel Opoku Anani. Now, firstly, he is the CEO of Earth Dreams Entertainment. He's the CEO of Awuchi Collections. And then also he's the CEO of is it Yokod? Yokod, right. And then lastly, he's also the special aide to the Ashanti Regional Minister. My bonnie, I'm kind of say we will be more the back and been hoping to the room. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Emmanuel Pokon and a friend Awuchi Mwakwaba. What's your baby?
Sir, Musi home sweet home. There be a was here buffy.
Quiet, they are best ever. What's the best ever?
Also, Baba channel for Neka.
Sir. Messiama Kwaba. Now, this episode of Mindful Podcast, like I said earlier, is powered by Zaj Laundry Capsules, Zadie's Cake, Asama Home Touch, and Clean Sense Hub. Yembo Ram straightforward. Na ye. Awuchi.
Nana.
Media personally, me who you crowd, but who no maka about you, about you. And one thing that I am a catcher, my belief, make a be me. They say there's one thing I've learned from Awuchi. Or besides, I said, I may say, and you're doing, make us in your habit to make a say, which one said, I say, is the work as I know, put it good. You have a ballroom now, you man for one or two things about you and what you've been able to do and where you have gotten to now and how you're able to do all these things. So, firstly, just started from the beginning, where it started for Emmanuel Poponane. And you be from Canina, baby, I started free.
All right, baby, I started free, Mamma, where the beda hobe 9 months.
Okay.
After 9 months, na me bufu na me see oh, the baby are doing there. My bremu mama mrasa say so na me enjoy. Right. So I was born to Mr. and Mrs. Anani. I am from Asante Mampo. But most part of my life I've lived in area Kwabre East municipality. I want to call me basic education. So I started from Victory Educational Complex.
Okay.
And 1 or 2 reasons me join and me call La Fontaine International School. 1 or 2 reasons na ba ko French.
Okay.
Victory na your French master be. What was his name? Is it Monsieur Giams? Yes. Now French master never class no child dey be an makoteneti na me din kwasiasem. Me the French reading kwasiasem sa. Mo achi me no obo me. Na headmaster obo me. Be am so me jai school. Also play jai and all that. So one day I just felt like Charlie no mo me hododo. And it wasn't like I wasn't intelligent. I was one of the best 3 students in the class. But as a once usa force me so na me hear me nyoma say on class. So now many switch. If I knew where French could take me at the time, I'm sure I would have taken it seriously and not played with it. But I think that was the main reason why I had to leave Victory Educational Complex. Then I continued at La Fontaine International School, which I was running from Victory because of French, but I ended up going to a French school. a basic school which was founded by, it wasn't really French people, but they were really known for French because now French, you know, or manager. Well, me quite many kakra and all that. So I completed my basic education at La Fontaine International.
Okay.
Then by God's grace, my grade was good, so I had to further my secondary education in one of the best three in Ghana,
Okay.
Opoku School. It's not even one of the best. In fact, it's the best. It's the best in the whole of West Africa. So I had my secondary education at Opoku School. We were the first batch to start 4 years now. So from 2007 to 2011, I was in Opoku School. Monsieur General Science. After Opoku School, then awaiting results, and I think that yes, so I didn't even stay home for a year, and I'm the federal University of Mines and Technology. So University of Mines, I did 4 years where, so that is where my leadership and your money started.
Okay.
It actually started with how my leadership lifestyle started is weird. A lot of people go to understudy people, they fancy how people do their stuff, but maybe they started in a rebellion manner. A rebellion manner in the sense that I remember in 2000, I think it was 2012. It was 2011, 2012, yes. So when we were in Good Hope, so you might first years in Good Hope. It is that time your Good Hope reps, no, or seniors. I think they were in second year or so. Now, almost about a Good Hope week. So the Good Hope week celebration, no. And you might be an Omoka incident so my NTTS can be a ponche. I said, what can or musicane or Miyamaki boom na. To some of us, it wasn't really adding up. And you know, be as won't ya. Because that time, Opoku near my best as for many so say, maybe that time, Opoku, Charlie, could try any castle. I'm with you, I'm with a friend, but to the end of me, sure, boys no more street, so, you know, you're just me, I said, we say skinny, tight one. So, go school, Jack, and I'm near GH, any premper for and all that. It's not many so. So when we started, we won't pay the money and all that. I was one of the leaders of that giddy, no.
Okay.
So there were two good reps. One is a lady and one is a guy. Be my near friend Bobu, and my near friend Hamdiat to about dams. So I think in all that, Hamdiat was actually studying me. And I think so I was one of the people who are quite influential. Because Jack, Uko University, Omoya no mo kasa bebre ni omo ye, you know, ye hwebo mutim ko do TV, omo tietia me say they are very influential. In as much as it is not the kind of influence which you would want. Omo kasi yes, they have quite a following where people do that. So she identified me as one of the lead people, and Hamdiat frame a corner room. And Oba, I'm finding that damn Eve line or that damn yeah. So I was beginning to buy into what she was saying. However, I told her I wasn't doing it for myself. I was actually doing it for everybody because what they told us early on to me wasn't really making much in quote sense. So she asked me, so how do you want us to do it? So then we moved from the stage where I was rebelling to a stage where we're now lobbying. And is on the same page, you know. Now she used me, to get to my people because she gave me a different approach to which we can do and all become partners. Then we set up a good old planning committee, and I was the lead of the first years, or I was one of the people there. So good old week, you know, it was to the people, to the continuing students. Our time was one of the best ever because at time once is on trapper man, once you're born about near yeah time Jack, you might for not manage that also. At the time we were in school, anybody who has been in UMAT knows it. But your time Jack, I think the second year, what's the COFA nurses will be now. So from our time, we transition to the next time because if we on what's the money be a good horror reps. It was to be a good horror rep. From what we did the previous year, they built upon that. So we laid a foundation. So it was amazing. And coincidentally, I was a geomatic engineering student. Hamdiat was also a geomatic engineering student. So after the whole Good Old Week celebration and how she saw I could serve and all that, she saw something different in me and she told me, you're a leader. I heard them there. Exactly. So I'm so when they lie. No, say no. You are not the person you think you are, but you have something within you which you don't even know about. I'm so I think she was an executive in geomatic engineering at the time. So in the position, no, because I had met on a committee. So it was more like everywhere Hamdiat goes, she takes me along.
Right.
Then I began discovering myself in a different way. Then I started showing some strength which I didn't know I could even do. Personally, for me, many a times people say Omo Muko School Ashanti Region, Omo Ntebrofo. It is never so. That is when I realized that it is never so. The difference is that, for instance, I went to a boys' school. In boys' school, no Charlie, yen sadan camp of fossa. What started to camp of why you go because now what Jimmy and I'll be and all that.
Yes.
So we mostly use our local dialects there. Well, I don't know if the system has changed now, but back in the days. So it was through me getting in contact with Hamdiat where I was made to stand before people to speak. And in the university, when you are making presentations, when you are leading people and all that, it can't necessarily be cheap. So I can't bro for now. I say I can't So I'm for Kumasi Ninok. And I didn't know I had that in me. So gradually, my class, groups are group will be I was the one making presentations.
Okay.
Because Jack, if you all crowd working, I'm here. Me working at that. The group. Now I think during my batch, the best student was Sunny. Me course I'm here, geomatic engineering. Until luckily for me, me could tour Sunny group. Jack, stubborn boys at the back, yeah, work ni that. But Sunny go do the work correct. But you do in as much as Sunny can do the work, he will do the work and say obey articulating on. Not that he's bad, but how I obviously explain and how obviously I play on the Queen's language and all that. It is quite different from how I handle it. So in every group I went, they know that AB are working on cry, but when it comes to the presentation, if Awuche is in our group, you know, it's me a presentation, Jack. I'm a presentation. Now lecture Naka say, with the exception of Awuche Nesani, the rest of you, I'm not sure you did the work. But well, so Hamdiat helped me discover the side of me which I never knew about. And wherever I stand, I say I'm so much grateful to Hamdiat Babadan because she actually ushered me into leadership. And today, this is where I am after the uni. And I national service was Sunyane EPA. Story in a while. So I found myself in agro-ecom. From agro-ecom, I started as a field officer. As a field officer, I think in 2 years, I was promoted, say, I'm a field coordinator. Just when we were about to get our friends appointment letter, and we were told there was a whole reshuffle in the company. So it couldn't come off. The next day, I'm a regional manager for me. There was already an opportunity, an opportunity, a district manager. But because I had already gone for the interview for the field coordinator, we didn't know how to put it. So, and I'm a district manager. 2 years, Charlie. Young boy, and I had me a district manager. Then a whole lot. Then we left. I came back to Sunyani. We started Earth Dreams Entertainment. Then I think after two or 3 years, when we were moving to a third year, yes, I think so. Then I had a call from the Ashanti region that Ashanti Regional Minister wants us to work together because we have known ourselves for quite a long time.
Right.
He knows what I'm capable of doing.
Right.
His senior brother is Waxy Billion, who we go way back to the university. So basically, that is what ended me where I am right now.
Right. So quickly, yeah, moving to this side. I think say we've spoken about the air dreams part, but there is one thing here. I say briefly. Is it your code?
Yeah.
What is that one about?
Yeah, so when we say your code, it stands for Youth for Capacity and Community Development Foundation. So right after my days in the university, when I entered into the University of Mines, where Hamdiat helped me to become a student leader, I left. I moved from being ordinary members on committees to becoming an associational president. At the time I became an associational president, I was in level 200. I was the first ever level 200 student to be an associational president in my organization, in UMAT. God being so good. The next year, when the SRC awards were being organized. I was the student leader of the year. From there, I moved on to become the JCRC president. At the time, UMAT was practicing just one horse system. So that is the Chamber of Mines. So it was more or less every student of UMAT was a member or an affiliate of the JCR. I moved from JCR president, and when I completed and came back to Kwabe East, I sat down and I was like, I have an array of leadership. I have a lot of experience and all that. What can I do to help the people within my municipality? Then I realized I already mentioned Danny's name. The people I did not mention their names. There was Prince, there was Ernest, there were other people. The neighborhood, more like boys are engineer. Now we are university. In as much as we are not really well off, at least you will name the So then let's come together to put together an NGO which we would solely use for championing development in our municipality. So once I had the idea, I discussed with these people. Some of them bought into the idea, others did not. You don't always have everybody buying into your vision and all that. But the people who came and bought for us to buy into the vision of Yokod no. We established Yokod, and the achievements are a lot. If we say we are going to speak about them, the genesis of the Kwabre Annual Festival, donations, we've done a lot. I remember one which we shared over 1,000 pieces of sneakers to people of Adangumase. There were other things we shared and all that. We paid our dues to the Kwabre municipal, and from where we sit now, the best is yet to come.
Right. So this is another episode of Mindful Podcast, which is sponsored by Earth Dreams Entertainment, Zaj Laundry Capsules, Zadie's Cake, Clean Sense Hub, and Asama Home Touch. Now let's move to this side of the podcast. Now, me per se, Yebora, your current responsibility, where you are currently, that is the special aid to the Ashanti Regional Minister. So what exactly does Regional Minister do, and how does your role support that particular work?
All right. So when we say a regional minister, just as the name infers, you are in charge of a region. So basically, if you are in charge of a region, your core post, 7th December, Ghana for Kotuaba, and you elect a president. The president cannot be at every place simultaneously. So then it means we have to delegate power to people. Delegate power to people who can help execute the vision of the president. And he said, if it is the vision of the president to make sure, this is what we want to achieve as Ghanaians within the 4 years that the mandate has been given to us, this is what I want us to do. And the regional minister, President Ketwa, in the sense that President Tumia Ghana for the amount and our pony home at the amount. So jurisdiction. And the emphasis say, bono, jurisdiction within bono, or the bono asha wansa. Se bibi be a wobno bia, ube overseas, Jumedian wobono. Se wa santimantema, bibi be a was santimantemo, ube overseas, adeno. The president is actually in charge of every sector of the economy. So if you are appointing it to me, no say, or delegating a mandate in the region, it means that every sector president nation, which in this case is all sectors. You are actually in charge of all sectors within your jurisdiction, which is the region. And say, Obesha, as a regional minister, or a sports minister, or region, or a creative arts minister, or region, or a tourism minister, or region, or environmental and sanitation minister, or a minister of local government, or like everything which the president oversees. That notwithstanding, it doesn't mean there are not sector ministers. But the point is, you are working to achieve the vision of the president. The vision of the president is to ensure that all these areas duly receive more development. I was almost saying, and you say, now we are roads minister. The roads minister, no, you have an office work. On to me, more bono and more Ashanti region and more northern simultaneously. So once you are there, you take charge of the route. Whatever it is, you work directly with the road minister, give him update on their what they need, the update or the state of the things which has been initiated and all that. So you work hand in hand with all the sectors, the sector ministers, and make sure the vision of the president has duly been achieved in your
That is any adwuma ketewa o. Adwuma no dɔɔso. So does the regional minister have other people or Mobuano? Ashanti region is very huge.
Yeah.
Yes. So does he have other people or Mobuano areas?
Yes. Enti yɛka decentralization a te sɛ deɛ president ɛwɔ nkran a ɔntumi hwɛ regions ne nyinaa so no a wɔde decentralize anya regional ministers no. Regional ministers no so a typical example, Ashanti region has 43 districts. So 43 districts no. You can't be everywhere. Because baby or no kra o Ashanti region. But one here be free Kumasi, I will be drew Krobi so no. Now one here time empokra something huge. So again, it has been decentralized to the point that your MMDCs. So the MMDCs is the Metropolitan Municipal and District Chief Executives. And in Ashanti region, we have just one Metropolitan Assembly, that is the KMA. The others, we have municipal assemblies. The others, we have district assemblies. And in all these areas, you have people who are also taking charge of that. Again, even within the districts, Okodawa, you started decentralizing to the point of being assembly members, where you have people taking care of, let's say, a small geographical area. Our no input, no. Ebeko district assembly and I say DC no. Not DC no so there no. Feeding into the regional minister there. Now regional minister there so feeding into the sector ministers. Any your friend not sector ministers no so there no. Almost feeding into president there. So at the end you have a holistic chain. A trickle free as CSR and the above drew. So just so what the people really need, because you might not be able to determine exactly what they need. Dreams. Maybe Zaddy's cake and I may will be say Zaddy's cake there. It is one of the best in the country. It will be a but not dreams in Kenya Zaddy's cake in a microphone. So one way Obama people what you think is right for them, but in reality that is not what they need. They need something else. So that is why their decentralization.
You see the way you've explained the role of the regional minister. Most of the youth, most of the citizens did not even know do not even know the role of the regional minister and Kasa.
So to be honest, I was one of the people who some years ago did not even see the relevance of the regional minister. I'll be very honest and very blunt. The reason is that we did not really see more of them. The regional minister position doesn't really have a lot of resources allocated to the office. You come to the Ashanti region and you'd realize that the strength of the Ashanti region actually lies with the MMDAs. That's the municipal district assemblies. So many times, if you really want to embark on something, you would have to rally the assemblies along. Other than that, you're handicapped. So I cannot also blame them that much. However, leadership is supposed to be innovative. If you accept a role and you want to come and add up to the numbers, you just be one of the people who came and they left. As I speak with you right now, everybody in this country has gotten to hear of the name Dr. Frank Amoakohene. Not because during his time he has received a wholesome or some huge sum of money from somewhere, no. But it's because he's beginning to relook and rethink how things were being done in the past. We live in a region, in the Ashanti region, there are a lot of patriotic people. In Ghana, there are a lot of patriotic people. The reason why I spoke about Ashanti region and its patriotism is that we revere our king. Ashanti region has a dynamic touch to everything. When you come to the Ashanti region and we speak about certain things, the value we place on those things is huge. So all you need to do is to make sure you give people value for what they need. So when we started, the regional minister's party is not really popular in the Ashanti region. This is a known fact. So coming from a party which is not so popular, it was always going to be quite difficult. It was always going to be, how do you think you are going to survive? Because even them omobakra they struggle a little. How much more ubia? Oba be starting yedi kan yaso because Charlie the obe bia no sebi enye nipa bebree fe.
Right.
So we had to see how we can roll the private sector on board. Rolling the private sector on board is giving the private sector a reason to believe in you. Once people believe in you, they will go all out for you. So right now you have people where, let's assume, I'm just citing an example.
Right.
We want to embark on Ashanti Festival 2027. If we announce Ashanti Festival 2027 today, we would have private institutions reach out and ask how can they come on board to help us. That is the brand we have created.
Yes, so another important message I made on is who's a career show me damn how come and I say me why fa now Mr. Good News is showing in glory a good style and this atari Emma so her contact will be on your screen. It's not just for men or for men and women you know or be ma career a best for any occasion yeah so just contact her and then obey adjumana mo kama I would say yen to answer na yonko. So is there any way an ordinary citizen can contribute to the development of the community and the nation at large?
So, right from university days, there is a popular quote which I always keep on saying. The world can only be changed by a small group of mindful, concerned citizens. I always say that, yes, central government has a role to play in terms of development and everything.
Right.
But you as a Ghanaian should understand one thing. As I sit here today, let's assume I am 15 years old. And let's say this NDC government is 2 years old in government. So let's say they have 2 more years. So 15 years old. No, 15 crowd drew 18 or years. So let me put it like I'm 20 years old.
Okay.
Me taking responsibility for myself and all that. Now this NDC government is 2 years old. They have 2 more years to spend. By the time NDC government is out of governance, I would be 22. The question is, do I really want to waste 2 years of my life? And now I said, menka say aban ye say inti say me hu say gata bi mu achoki na me as an individual metimi aye hu bibia menye. So that is the genesis for which I created Youth for Capacity and Community Development. For cleanups, yeah, a lot of them. I remember back in the days na oko fawadia I've forgotten the name of this junction. Na I think Noble Dream. Now microcredit be. I'm saying a friend Noble Dream. From that junction to that place. That's got a name that. But when I went with my team to meet the assembly member for the area. We went to the community centers, announcement, kakra, invite, we say eco assembly, eco requesting for some logistics and all that. During that time, so I got an in it tells you that you have your role to play as a citizen. As a citizen, to say the America no. So what as a word change and you fold your arms waiting on central government, your years on earth would be wasted. There are so many things which are so fundamental that you don't really need the central government or something huge before you can start.
Okay.
So my advice to especially young people who are out of the tertiary institutions or who are out of SHS and all that is you should consider your community as that is who you are. Where you stay epitomizes who you are. Let me cite this example and no disrespect to anybody. You see, Oka Asembi in the intro, you said, Adia bako wasuyan omeho, eye ni eden. Now, let me show you where I've stayed in my life. If I ask you, you will just straight away tell me, baby, I'm in fear. When I was born, I stayed in Zongo for 9 years. I moved from Zongo to overseas. For secondary school, I was in Santase. University, I was in Takwa. I came for my national service in Sunyane. I started work after teaching. I went to Sam Rabon. In all these areas, Makekano, Emudiahin, and everyone many hiding.
Zongo, of course.
Exactly. So you see, Zongo, a place. I don't need to tell you about when you're hiding, but a trade where you pick it up naturally. You get it. So it tells you that people already have a perception of you.
Right.
So the reason why people would have a perception of you is that is what has been there for some time. If I say I stayed in a Zongo community, you perceive something. So it tells you that if we want to change the community, and yes, central government, the man will be any that perception of the people there. No. What would come to your mind? DB. Central government na ACC dynamic. No. But that is what the community has built. So it tells you that as individuals, what we do collectively has a repercussion on our community. So if you are always waiting on central government, you'll be lost. And as an individual, if you really want the development of your community, it doesn't start with central government. It starts with you. If you see something wrong, so the last time somebody called me about an issue in Omo area, and I'm able to say, "Wako, no person don't read them." And I'm able to say, "Wako, your friend is a DCO." So there be then the regional minister on the account on the obey. And I'm able to say, "Community in what country assemblyman?" And there be or no then. Funny enough, I gave the person the number of the MC. Within the next day, Nipa frame me. Oh, Brian, I said, my problem near solve it. And I was like, yes. So we three say MC, you know, Sebi, they bring on but that is not the situation. When you want your MCU or your assembly member to work, give him knowledge of the problem which exists. You don't expect the MCE, the DCE to solve a problem in abstract when he doesn't know. If he is in his office, I always use my municipality because that's where I know very well. So, or on the office where man ponting, na se bibi koso, ana bibi achia ewe hwazungwa. At that point, if nobody reports to him, how then do you expect him to solve it? So if he has no knowledge of it, you know, because he MC, you know, but the fact is, he had no knowledge of it. So, as a citizen, at least your first step when you see that this is above me, you have assembly members. Merely reporting to the assembly member is you playing your part in community development.
Okay.
If after the assembly member, you see nothing was done about it, you move a step further. You go to the DC or the MC. If after that stage, nothing is done about it, and you come to the regional office, because when you call me, and it's anything which has to regard the district, the first question I would ask you, have you spoken with your DC? If you have spoken with him and the results you wanted was not done, I'll take the feedback from you. I'd call the district chief executive, or I'll discuss with my boss, who would now speak with the district chief executive to ascertain whether what you are saying is true or not. If indeed it is beyond the DC or the MC, your concern would not even come to us directly. The MC or DC who wants to work genuinely would call us. But it's only in a few cases where probably the MC or DC deems it something which he thinks is not supposed to get there. But that way, if you bring it to our attention and it deems the necessary agency it needs, we'll do that. So there are certain things you can take up. Typical example, we've seen bus stop boys in the news. What they are doing is amazing. They have not been contracted by any government. It started with one person. He decided that I want to make sure that my community is clean.
Right.
When he started the movement, along the line, he had people share into his vision. They came along. Now you have benevolent individuals, benevolent companies now sponsoring them. That is change.
True.
So now, if we are talking about heroes of change in Ghana, and you are talking about sanitation, there is no way you can do away with bus stop boys.
True.
That is their role to community development.
True. Right. So quickly, let's move to the next session of this podcast. Now, this session is about social media. So social media right now we see has become a very critical part of governance today. Now, do you think it's a good thing?
Well, social media has a two-way affair. It can be a blessing and it can be a bane. It depends on how you use it. In this life, everything has a positive and negative side. Depending on what you are using the social media for. There are people who are spreading people's nudity on social media. It is causing a lot of depression. It is causing a lot of people to cause, commit suicide and all that. That obviously cannot be said to be right. There are people who are now seeing challenges. I remember just some hours before we entered into this podcast, yesterday a group of people saw sanitation crisis at Westco, and they videoed it. They tagged the regional minister. Today, it has been resolved. So when social media is giving us the result we require,
Right.
when we are using it for the good, it cannot be said to be bad. So it depends on how you use social media. It can be good, and it can worsen your life.
So do you think leaders of today should personally engage with their people on social media, and why, if you think so?
I wish every leader should be on social media. Every leader. No, it's not even, this should be a must.
Should be a must.
Yes, it should be binding on to every leader to be on social media.
Why do you think so?
You see, when it is time for campaign, and we want to campaign for our political parties, let's say we come to Sunyani Fiapri, and at Sunyani Fiapri, we organize a rally where, let's say, approximately 200 to 500 people will come for the rally, right? But social media has the power and the capacity to connect more than 1 million people.
True.
So something which can be achieved in bits, something which would be achieved in days, something which can be achieved in months, something which can be achieved in years can be achieved within seconds on social media. So why then would you want to distance yourself from people? So social media has now come to bridge the gap between leadership and their respective people whom they serve. And that is the reason I cited an example of, before me coming into this interview, what has been achieved. If it had been the olden days, it would require a gatekeeper of a radio station or a TV station to go and sit on the radio station, try and even propagate it in a way which might not be so. In that way, if I am not glued to, I don't want to mention any radio station's name, but if I am not glued to Earth Dreams Radio at the time, and I don't get to hear about it, it is lost. It means the purpose for which that was being talked about, I did not get it. The only way I get to hear about it is when people now report it. In reporter speech, many a times, there are so many alterations. By the time you realize, the person who is now reporting it, you have skewed it to suit the narrative which they want to put across or whatever. So in social media, it is wuniye miniye. Tell me your problems. Let me solve your problems for you. So if a leader has the chance to connect with 1,000 people, a leader has the chance to connect with 1 million people. There have been times where Dr. Mwakwin has been on the media and he has more than 5,000 people watching him simultaneously.
Right.
Tell me, do you know the size of a 5,000 capacity auditorium? Imagine that. If we want to premiere a movie with our cinemas in Ghana, right? I think the biggest cinema in Ghana has to do with Silverbet. What is the capacity of one auditorium? If Earth Dreams is premiering a movie in one Silverbet auditorium and it is full and we put the video out there, we celebrate it. If Earth Dreams is premiering a movie at the National Theatre and we publicize a full auditorium, we celebrate it.
Right.
But before you can fill the National Theatre, it takes months of service. It takes years of service. Sarkodie wants to sell out the O2. It has taken him, or he publicized it a year before, and he's working towards it. On social media, Nana Eboa can be live. Earth Dreams Entertainment has 1.4 million followers right now, solely on TikTok. If you add Facebook and you add YouTube, Earth Dreams Entertainment has over 2 million followers.
We just clocked 1.5.
Exactly. So now it is even more than 2 million. So imagine Earth Dreams shooting an educative movie where more than 2 million people get to watch it. How do you think these people will be affected?
Yes, and we even have, I think when you were here and writing stories, you even have movies that have over 6 million views and stuff.
Exactly.
Yes.
So now it tells you that the power of social media is enormous, and it gives the leaders the chance to interact with their followers. If only leaders are going to be very accessible and want to be accessible to the people and be accountable to the people, they need to be on social media, because on social media, your followers can easily ask you questions. We have been in this country for so long and we've had leaders who right after they win elections, right after they are appointed into positions, they go to stay in Accra. The next time they are coming back is when they are coming for elections. But on social media, when they are not seeing you, they will tag you.
Right.
They will talk about it for everybody to know that this my MP, this my minister is Lakadisika.
Yeah.
So,
So you think every leader should have
It's a must.
Oh, right.
It's a
right.
must.
Right. And you think right now social media can actually influence government decisions?
Exactly. You see, social media now is a feedback mechanism for government. Typical example. You see this LGBTQ bill which was just passed and how Ghanaians received it. It tells government that Ghanaians would want us to pass this bill to criminalize whoever is practicing that LGBTQ whatever. So now government has a feedback. This is what our people want. Let's do it for them. Back then, government would have to embark on survey. Government would have to print questionnaires. Then send 1,000, 5,000, 1 million people to go to towns, to go to regions and all that. By the time you realize cost, Obia discovered the but now social media is bridging that gap. Ghanaians express how they felt when they released the Black Star list.
Right.
That is a feedback.
Right.
You don't need to go and do any survey anywhere. So government now uses social media as a feedback mechanism to know what the people want. Recently, we brought people from South Africa, and everybody, irrespective of their political colors, the NPP, the UP, the CPP, the base, NDC, everybody is happy praising His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Okujetu Ablakwa for the yeoman's job they have done. Now, it gives the impression, it gives them the edge, it gives them the temerity that the people who are left behind, now they need to go and bring them. One way it is, Ghana for us and also move for us. Exactly.
Yeah, right. So before we move to the next section, I asked them this particular question. Now, since this podcast is mainly focused on the youth and stuff, I want you to answer these questions for me now. In your own scale of preference and from your own perspective, skills, connection, and grades. School grades, skills, and connection. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Skill, connection, and grades.
Yeah.
So I'll place emphasis on skill, number 1.
Number 1, skill.
Number 1, skill.
Okay.
Number 2, I'm torn between the grade and the connection. Well, between the grade and connection, let's say I'd put, depending on how you define connection.
Okay.
I don't know how you are defining connection in this perspective, but I'll put connection as number 2.
Okay.
And I'll put grade as number 3.
So now we need the explanation on why you chose this.
All right, skill, connection, and grade. So I'll choose skill in the first place because skill can now define who you are. I go to, let's say, University of Mines and Technology. I go to acquire the knowledge. Let's say I'm a first class student. I gained the first class by Charlie exams about my book, my pass it. Charlie, best student. Maybe school, no. Yeah, they make coffee that means being you have the grade, but you have become redundant.
Right.
So it tells you that the grade would now depend on other factors. Right. Okay. Let me come to the connection. Okay.
Yes.
Into that grade. Connection. Somebody might not be good. And we know this. Me, I mostly don't want to say my politics, my home, and I say one person. There are always square pegs in round holes. The person is actually there because of the connect he has.
Right.
However, even the connection is a skill. That's why I place skill as number 1. Yes. Let me use myself as an example.
Okay.
I met Wagsy Billion in the University of Mines and Technology. And at the university, we didn't know ourselves before coming to UMAT. Or high school, me Pokuari.
Okay.
So that time, me are cutting in a different perspective. Maybe I say me sheni can getting skinny. What's in so you are cutting in the sense on what shebat kakraka, what moto, bozy moto, jungle moto, so there. You get it. Our worlds were parallel. What's the mineral engineering, me geomatic engineering. There was no point we were going to meet because combined class, geomatic and mineral for crown called combined class. But some way, somehow, when our paths crossed, when our paths cross, there are other factors like loyalty, humility, hard work. I am currently, as you put it, you always put it as I am the personal assistant to the regional minister. It is not because I am the best person in the whole Ashanti region. No, that's not the truth. There are people who are better than me. This I know. I might not be able to say Nana Yeboah is better than me, Kwadwo is better than me, and all that. When it comes to communication, there are people who are better than me. When it comes to intellect, there are people who are intelligent than me. When it comes to being presentable, there are people who are better than me. When it comes to delivering the most epic of speeches, there are people who are better than me.
The speeches part with the into also.
I found myself in that space because when there was that vacancy, I had a connect with Wagzi who knew that he has somebody there who fits or who he marks every aspect they are looking for. So then, at that point, in as much as I have every skill and everything, what actually put me there is a connect.
Right.
It wasn't because of my grades. No. It wasn't because I was a first class, I was a second class, I was a past student or whatever. No. It was irrelevant at the time. Because me, Dr. Mwakohini never told me, say, Auchi, if I was certificate, brand, sana, my be my personal assistant. But because of my connect, I had already built a rapport with Doctor. So my connection did not only end with Waxy Billion. Through Waxy Billion, I had already had a lot of encounters with Doctor to the point that Doctor trusted me that I should be the person to organize his wedding. And again, be his best man. I organized Waxy's wedding, not because I am the best event organizer, but because they have known me.
I was saying the couple event organizer.
So my connect put me where I am today. So connect comes in there. Now, before the connect, I am not the only friend of Waxy Billion. I am not the best friend of Dr. Frank Amwakohene. He equally has his friends. Waxy equally has a lot of friends. The question is, in as much as I have the connect, why is it that Waxy look through, because Waxy has more than 5,000 friends. Out of all his friends, when the chance came for him to recommend somebody who he can trust with his life, he recommended Auchi. It is because he knows the scale of Auchi. So, if it hadn't been for my skill, the connect would be irrelevant. If it hadn't been for my skill, the grade would have been irrelevant. So, if you put it in simple terms as grade, I'd never go for grade. But however, if you are putting it in a broader perspective, that education, then maybe, not even maybe, I would put education ahead of the skill. Because, in fact, personally, I acquired my skills through education.
Okay.
But if the focus is on grades, what I got during the BEC, what I got during the WASI, what I got at my university, then grade will always be last. So that is why you have many a time somebody will go like, the best in the class is not doing so well in the street. I think Payday has a song which he uses a line like that. I think it's on Tema Motui. The fact that you are the best in class does not necessarily guarantee that you'll be the best in life. No. So you make sure in all your acquisitions, make sure you have a special skill that when you build a rapport with somebody, which now moves from rapport to a connect, the person can, based on your skill, to recommend you to a position where ordinarily your name wouldn't have been mentioned.
Mm.
So whoever is always being interceded for has somebody in the throne room who is always lobbying for them.
Yeah. Yes.
If your name is not being mentioned in the throne room, forget it. So I'll put skill, I'll put connect, then I'll put grade last. If these are the three parameters.
Right. Yes. And in fact, with the explanation you just gave, I personally am even a clear example of what you just said right now. With the explanation, I perfectly understood it, and I hope my viewers will also get. Okay, so if you are speaking to every Ghanaian youth right now, I want you to look into the camera, and then what will be your message to them?
So my final word to every youth out there on the streets: life is not that easy. If you're expecting life to present all the glories, everything, that is not how life works. Life is a roller coaster, as I said early on. In this minute, you can be the biggest person in the room. In the next minute, the person who was your follower can now become your boss. So make sure that whatever life throws at you, you make sure that you make good use of it. When you are at your highest, don't look down on people who are there. Make sure that you extend your hand to people who are down so that you build a network. The reason why so many politicians are powerful is because of the following which they have. Recently, there was a Sami Jenfi funeral, his in-laws funeral, and we all saw the number of people who pulled up for him. It is because of the helping hand or whatever he has lent to people that got him that. However, sometimes when you are at your lowest, that is when you are going to realize that, Charlie, people were only with you for the good of it. When those time comes, don't be bothered. Don't be perturbed. Don't make that push you down. However, know that that is a stage in life. That should be your most important moment, because in that moment, are you going to learn the lessons? And once you learn the lessons, that is when, once you are able to get back to your feet, you know how it pained to get there. That is how you use that as a tool to ensure that once you see the next person who is making the same mistakes as you did, you can duly advise. Like I said, life would never get it straight. Life is bumpy. So when you get to your lowest, don't think of suicide as an option. Dear Hustler, that is a point where you should know that your faith is being tested. Job went through more than that. But at the end of the day, who did he become? So make sure your lowest point would not break you to the point that you will think there is no God. And most don't forget to pray. A man is most powerful when he's on his knees. That's my final message.
So continue looking to the camera for me. This is the last session and it's the rapid fire questions session. So you give me one simple word to answer these questions. Yeah?
All right.
So one word that describes leadership.
I would have preferred two, but since you are saying one, I'd go for hard work.
Hard work.
Yes.
Okay. TikTok or Facebook?
Either of them. Charlie.
Want an answer? Don't choose one.
Well, I think I'm beginning to tune more to Facebook these days.
Okay. Leadership or popularity?
Or leadership any day.
Madrid or Barcelona?
Madrid.
Right. So lastly, I want you to give us the biggest lesson you've learned from failure.
The biggest lesson I've learned from failure is to be loyal. I have failed a countless times, but what brought me up to where I am right now is loyalty. The skill will be there, the confidence will be there, the belief in self will be there. But sometimes you need that helping hand to pull you up there. And if there is not that particular person or persons that you have been loyal to, you keep on staying in failure. In my case, there are countless times I failed. There were certain individuals who were always there for me. Loyalty pays. So make sure that when you find that one person who believes in you, when you find that one person who trusts you so much, you are going to be loyal to them.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so guys, this was another interesting and knowledge-filled episode of Mindful Podcast. My name is Nane Abo, of course, with Double H at the back. And on today's episode, I was here with Emmanuel Opukwanane, aka Awuche, who is the CEO of Earth News Entertainment, the CEO of Awuche Collection, CEO of Yokot, and the special aid to the Ashanti Regional Minister. Like I said earlier at the beginning of this episode, it is powered by Earth Dreams Entertainment and also Zadie's Cake and Zaj Laundry Capsules. And if you need air freshness and room sprays for your spaces, make sure you contact Clean Sense Hub. Lastly, Asama Home Touch. No, not lastly. And finally, by Boots Style for my beautiful African print that I'm wearing. Thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share, do everything some for us. And my name is Nane Abua. As usual, I'm signing out. Peace.